the whisper mind. I met the building the way you meet a secret by accident, and then on purpose. The emergency stairwell door was wedged open with a brick, exhaling a cold smell like wet concrete and paper. Inside, the wall carried a fading number, 15, not a floor number, just 15. I told myself it was someone's joke. The joke kept breathing. I went down one flight, turned, pushed back into the same hallway. The air was a held breath, the kind that refuses to be released. When I looked back into the stairwell, the number had changed to 14, as if it had been waiting for me to notice that something had started without my consent. In the mailroom, a typed notice said, "Do not use the stairwell after 11 p.m. Underneath, in pencil, "Unless you owe someone an apology." A neighbor met my eyes just long enough to pass the warning between us without sound. I slept with my door chained. I dreamed in numbers. I told myself I wouldn't go back. I went back. The number hovered at 13, and rain pressed against a memory. A boy at a bus stop checking his phone because I said I'd show up and didn't. The stairwell held the image like a slide in a projector, making me watch until I said I was sorry to the dark. 12 and 11 arrived like bruises you notice after the pain. An unanswered voicemail with my father's voice in it. A birthday I forgot until it was too late to call without confessing why. The steps didn't judge. They only recorded. The rails left a stain on my fingertips that wouldn't wipe off. I tried to test it, to force the stairwell to make sense. I dropped a coin and listened. It fell longer than the space allowed. When it finally sounded, it landed on something soft. At 10, the air smelled of antiseptic and the sweetness of wilting flowers. I spoke out loud to a man who couldn't hear me anymore. At 9, laughter followed me down the turn, hers. A friend I only liked when she stayed on the surface. The sound dimmed when I admitted it. The number changed when I said it aloud. The stairwell accepted true words like keys. At 8, the paint puckered like old skin, and something writhed beneath it. A memory of putting a stray cat back into the rain because I couldn't afford to care. I had told myself it would find its way. The step was colder. The cold climbed with me. 7 offered a torn corner of a photograph on the step, the edge of a smile I recognized, and a room I no longer had a key to. I didn't pick it up. I didn't need to. The stairwell was not showing me evidence. It was showing me inventory. At 6, the stairwell tried to sell me a gentler story, that I had changed, and that the past belonged to someone else who happened to share my face. The number did not move until I said the other truth aloud. I learned to hide better. The light flared then calmed. 5 waited below, patient as a held breath. 5 was the sound of the building listening back. My ears popped like in a descending elevator. There was a voice under the hum of light, and concrete, the shape of a voice without words. It wasn't angry, it was patient, in a way that made my bones feel borrowed. 4 and then 3 arrived with smaller, sharper weights. A message I didn't return because it came at an inconvenient time, an apology I demanded before offering my own. The stairwell didn't ask me to be forgiven, only to be accurate. I was running out of numbers and out of ways to avoid myself. Between 3 and 2, the rail felt colder than metal should. I knew, abruptly and completely, that the last apology wouldn't belong to anyone else. It would have my name on it. The number 2 waited at a door that didn't fit the building at all. The brass plate under the number read, 0, operator. But above the knob was the simple, waiting 1. My palm came away smelling like dust and crayons. I thought of all the times I promised to change, and then waited for proof before I began. I turned the knob without a prayer. The door opened onto a room I hadn't owned in years. Bed low to the ground, a nightstand with a phone from another century. The receiver was warm. The dial tone stared at me. I pressed 0. A voice that sounded like mine and older asked, "Who will you let go of trying to fix?" I said a name. Then I said my own. When I stepped back into the stairwell, the number was gone. If your stairwell counted down your apologies, who would you call at 0? What do you think happened here? Subscribe for more psychological horror.